Thanks for tuning to Drive by 84 Degrees. I'm on Highway 17 southbound, heading towards Punta Gorda, Florida. They're not in Punta Gorda. Like I said, I don't even know where I am. I'm like in between, I guess. I'm going to be turning on Highway 70 West Crooked Street when I do. But I hope everybody's doing great. Today is July 30th, 2015. Like I say, 84 degrees, about 5:30 in the evening on a Thursday. I jumped down here, speed limit drops to 45. I don't want to get, it might be actually in Arcadia, it kind of looks like it, or around that area. Let's see what it says here. Doesn't really say, fills automatic. Might be like Arcadia. I think it is. It looks familiar. There's a sign up here. I won't bore you too much. Arcadia Avenue. So we're in Arcadia, Florida right now. Just coming into the city limits right here. The right hand side says there. Okay, so Arcadia, Florida. Gonna drop our speed down a little. And I hope everybody's doing great. I wanted to bring up a subject here, and this is kind of going away from my standard drive-by. It's actually be talking about computers, and I wanted to bring up what's the best way to optimize your computer. If you have an old computer or a new computer, or a computer that's just acting crappy, there's a few things you can do. Okay, I still recommend you be careful what changes you make to your computer, because you could screw it up. Normally over time, okay, and even like if you buy a brand new computer, there's a lot of software loaded on it, and they have stuff like help desk software, tune-up software, and a lot of the software, it works this way. Picture yourself like you're going to school, and you have a backpack on your back. In your backpack, you have books. Let's say you got 10 books. And you're carrying your books class to class. Or you may not even use those books till like 3 days later or something. But all those books in your back, you're carrying. It's the same way with software on your computer. There's applications that are starting when your computer starts. You don't use them. However, if you ever did want to use them, usually you can hit F5 or click on the desktop, or they're there real fast, or they run all the time like reminders, but they're not really necessary. It's just like if you have books on your back and you go to a class, you take out the book and you open it, and once you open it, that's the book for your class. The other books stay dormant in your bag, and you're carrying them. I'm going to show you an application. It's called MS Config. It's spelled MSCONFIG. That application, you can run at a start line. So you can go where your start button is on the lower left-hand side of your computer and click Start, tab over to Run, and type in MS Config, and run that command. Okay, or whatever. It'll take a second, and you'll get a window that comes up with some multiple tabs up on top. There'll be one that says, I think, Services. There'll be one that says Startup, or something like that. The ones you want to really look at are two tabs: the Services tab and the Startup tab. Those two tabs that are there that are listed are the tabs that when your computer starts, what's going to run. Now you can shut them off. So basically what it's doing is you're taking the book out of the backpack and putting it away so you're not carrying it around. And that will increase your resources of it. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go over first to the services. There's a services kind of tab they have there. And you're going to go to that services tab, and you're going to click on it. Now, it will show a bunch of things that you may not even know what they mean, okay? But in that services tab, you go way on the bottom, there will be a checkbox that says hide all services. You're going to check that. Now, once you check that, hide all services, it's going to show you everything that is not required on the computer to be running. So the services are Microsoft services, things that run all the time in the background. You need to have some of those. You don't want to uncheck those. You want to check the box that says hide Microsoft services or hide all services. It'll say something like that. And once you check on that, it will show you all your services. It will show you things that are not services. It might show antivirus. It might show some thing called Bonjour. That's for your like iPad, antivirus, tune-up stuff. And look through that list and see things that you don't need running automatically. And you can turn those on, don't forget. So if you shut them off, then you can turn them on when you want to. The next tab you want to go to is your Startup tab. Startup's going to tell you everything that's starting on your computer. They're usually not Microsoft services. They're usually nothing that's going to hurt your computer if you shut off. So everything in that tab, if you click on Startup, you can uncheck every one of those. Click OK, reboot the computer, and then those things won't be running. But they'll still be there. So just like, I'll give you an example. Microsoft Office. That might be in that, if you haven't shut it down, it's probably running. Microsoft Office you may never use, but once in a while. So you can uncheck that, then click OK, reboot your computer. Now Microsoft Office won't be running, but if you want to open it, you can go to Start Office and open it. See, and it won't be using resources until you start it. Of course, then you can shut it down. So those are services, things in your computer that are running that will drag your computer down phenomenally. I recommend running nothing in those services in the startup, and minimal in the services, minimal in the services tab that are not services. Like I might just run my antivirus. Usually, that's about all I run. Everything else can really be off. If I want to open up a reminder, or if I want to open up Office, or if I want to open up some kind of reminders or optimizer, I can open them up. I don't want them always running because all that requires resources. And I have done computers that people had 300 things running in their startup. And then when they go on the internet, they're wondering why their internet's slow, or they're locking up, or shit's not working. Well, it's not working because you got so much shit. It's like you walking with a backpack and having 300 books in your back. And then when you want to really do something, you can't, because you got too much shit you're riding on your back. But those are just two features. The MS Config is mainly what you should look at, the Services tab and the Startup tab. Services, you want to go in there and shut off all Microsoft. You want to click the box that says Hide Microsoft, Hide Services. Okay, it'll be way on the bottom of that same Services tab. And when you click on that, it will show you only things that are running that are not services, but make sure you don't forget to click that and turn off your services, because you could hose your computer. And then in the MS Config, the startup, look in there, and all those things can be shut off. You don't need any of them running. But if you have an iPad, if you have an iPod and you're running iTunes, you're going to want the board is Bonjour or Apple, anything related to Apple. You want those running in your services. When you go to that Services tab and hide all services, you want the Bonjour or the Apple or the iPad services, and the same thing with the startup. Otherwise, your iTunes won't work correctly. But I just wanted to go through those. Those are just two really quick optimizations that you can do. Really, there's a third one you can do in your video. If you have a video card, a good video card like NVIDIA or ATI or Radeon, something not like basically Intel, you can actually adjust the refresh rates. And if you adjust the refresh rates, the higher the refresh rate, it will actually make your computer, when you're clicking on things, seem faster. So you could go in there. That's a little bit more advanced for somebody. You kind of got to know what you're doing, but I'll just superficially go over it. You want to right click, go to properties. You want to go to your video properties. You want to go advanced, and then you want to look in there and find the video card display adapter, and you want the properties of the display adapter. And if you look in there, it will tell you what your video card will do. It'll say maybe 1024 by 76, 32-bit, 60. It might say 1024, 60, 32-bit, 80. And then it might say 120 hertz. So the hertz is what we're adjusting. The higher the refresh rate, as long as your monitor can handle it, and usually if it's there, your monitor can't handle it, will give you, when you click on things, faster response. But that's another optimization tool. Unless you really know how to get into your video properties and adjust them, I probably wouldn't recommend going in there, because you could screw your computer. Not screw it up, you could just make it so the display is too small or too big and you couldn't view it and get stuck on the screen and you're all hosed up. Mainly, MS Config is probably the best one. Then also, try to run a scan disk and a defrag on a regular basis. Run your antivirus. If you don't have a scan disk or a defrag, some of the newer versions of Windows didn't have that. You can always download something like Defrag-It or Scan Disk It or something. There are third-party softwares. If you have any optimization software, like AVG makes a free optimization software, and one you have to pay for. It'll go through and optimize the register and clean things up and adware. And there's a bunch of other different enhancement pieces of software. But when you install them, go in MS Config and make sure they're not loading all the time, because you don't want them loading. The only thing you want loading is your antivirus. But thanks a lot for tuning in. Hopefully this helped you. But that's a few tips. I usually use this on a daily basis to optimize and get computers running pretty good. And I charge them like $50. You could charge $100 for somebody. Clean it up, get it running good. But thanks a lot, and have a good day. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully these computer optimization tips have helped you. I will probably do a video on it, optimization, kind of an in-depth one for people who want to see how to do it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. I appreciate you tuning in. Please subscribe, please comment, and take it easy.